Alrighty, so it is a beautiful day, and I'm pretty excited because I got some good stuff to share with you guys today. And let me just take a quick minute and welcome everyone on board. So, who do we have here? See, Ty Austin 22 just joined. What's going on? Go ahead and let me know your name and maybe where you're hitting me up from. So, we'll just take a quick minute. Man, this thing is loading up quick. What's up, Curtis in the house? All right. Well, it's kind of oops, I'm going to take this lighting. So, all right, we don't need the headphones. Brooklyn in the house. Angela, Colorado. What's up from NYC? Camille, Tulsa, Minneapolis, Toronto, New Hampshire. Danny in the UK. Bobby in Vegas. Nashville in the house. NT Beantown. I don't know where that is, but that sounds cool. That was supposed to say, yo, yeah. Becca, Callie, holy smokes, this is going fast. I can barely read. Vince Reed, what? We got celebrities on the line. Holy smokes. All right, howdy from Houston. All right, so Orlando, what's up, Henry? All right, and Chicago, Chi-Town. So let's go ahead and get this show on the road. 2 presentations down, 3 to go. Okay, that's my boy Paul. All right, proud of you, buddy. So let's do this, guys. What I want to do is, let me walk out a little bit here. We'll get some better views. So anyways, I got a quick little training that I just want to share with you guys. I was talking to someone the other day regarding prospecting. And, one of the things that, was kind of interesting is a lot of people, when we're prospecting, and what I'm talking about is cold market prospecting. So we're talking about going up to people, total strangers, kind of breaking the ice, starting that conversation and, with the intent to pique their interest, to get their phone number, and, to turn that cold prospect into a hot lead for your business. All right. One of the biggest things is, there's a lot of people, and listen, I do online marketing, I'm pretty well branded out there. But I think, one of the biggest, most important things that you really need to do, and one of the best skills to have, is to know how to communicate with people rapidly, to be able to pique their interest quickly, to be able to hold it, and to be able to transition that conversation wherever you want it to go. And that's why, one of the reasons why I've become, so fluent at sales and persuasion is because I've learned to prospect well. And I made that, if there was only 2 things that you could learn, in sales, and this is what I figured out a long time ago. I said, if there's only 2 things that I could focus on, it would be how to prospect really, really good. So that way I could target the best possible people, and number 2 would be how to close people, so, because I figured to myself, I said, if I could get really good at prospecting, right? If I get really good at prospecting, then I'll always have a full appointment book and I'll always have tons of people to talk to. And if I get really good at closing, well, then I'll be able to convert the highest number of people, that I get into my funnel. So I might not master follow-up. I might not master, all of the art of leadership and team building. But when I was new, I didn't really care, because I was just like, well, I want to sort through and find leaders. So let me get as many people in my pipeline. And then once I learned how to do that, I said to myself, well, now let me get so good that I can maximize every single exposure by knowing exactly what to say, and what to say. So those are the 2 things that I just studied. I studied like crazy prospecting. I studied like crazy closing. And I said everything else will take care of itself. Because if I want to be a good leader, and I can teach my team prospecting and closing, well then that basically will make me a good leader, right? All right, so that was just my very elementary logic, when I kind of dissected the direct sales, network marketing industry, and really all sales, So to this day, I'm not the best at following up. I'll be straight up. I'm not a master at, I'm great actually at following up, but I just don't do it. I honestly, it's like I'll make a phone call, and if that person tells me no for whatever reason, I'm honestly not dripping on them forever. I'm not, trying to say, hey man, you ready yet? I don't do any of that stuff. But then again, very seldom do I miss, so if I pick up the phone, somebody's buying, somebody's joining, all right? And those are just my ratios, but, it took a lot of time. So, and you guys have got some great questions, hold on to some of those questions. Let me finish this thought because I can't read and also train. I'm not, my brain isn't that well structured where I can compartmentalize reading, storing information, and also spitting it out on a totally different subject. So, let me, someone said you look like this guy named Cesar. I hope so, because I am Cesar. All right. So, what I was saying with regarding prospecting. So a couple tips on what to say and what not to say. So I had a conversation with somebody, and it's interesting. I prospected two people in the airport. Flying back from Houston, Texas. I was out there for for a conference, and I prospected two people just like that. One guy was a financial planner, the other lady was a vice president, of a trust, Wilmington Trust or something like that. Which is apparently a pretty big bank and trust company or whatever. And I prospected two sharp people. One of the benefits of being really good at prospecting is you get to target who you want. When you're doing online marketing, you kind of don't know who you're going to get. You get a lead and it's, someone that's broke and it's someone that doesn't have, any influence or anything. When you're prospecting, you see someone sharp driving a nice car in a nice suit or something, someone looking crisp. You can say, that person is going to be in my business. Let me go up and break the ice and, feel where this person's out and let me see what I can get from them. So, prospecting is the art of going to somebody. I just, it's basically making a friend, turning a stranger into a friend and that friend into a lead for your business, someone that you can sit down and talk business with. Okay. So that's what I call prospecting or cold market prospecting. All right. So, here's a couple of tips. When you are building rapport with people, when you're going up to people, one of the things that you don't want to do, it depends on how much time you have. All right. There's prospecting, there's different scenarios, right? There's a scenario where, like the one guy that I prospected, we were in line, in a fairly long line, going through security check-in. So again, we're in a line that's kind of wrapping around. So I've got time to be like, hey, so where are you from? Do you fly to this airport often? Oh, do you fly a lot? What do you do for business? Oh, so what's got you traveling so much? Where are you going to today? Like, how often do you travel? Do you have family, kids? Oh, how do you feel about that? Like, I've got time, to just build that rapport and to have those types of conversations. Now, if it was passing by pretty quick and I don't have that time, I'm going to start to pull out a lot of things that we do. Now, we've all heard about form. Some of us have, right? When you're talking to people, it's family. Now, everyone's got kind of different things what this stands for, but, family, form is an acronym, FORM, and it's just a little reminder to kind of help keep you on track when you're talking to people, so, F stands for family or from, so when you're talking to people, hey, where are you from? You want to find out a little bit about your family. You want to find out about their occupation. All right, that's the O. R is recreation. What do they do for fun? And M, is motivation. What motivates them? Or some people say money, so I've always used motivation. Like, what are they motivated by? What were they really trying to do? What's their end goal? Because my whole job is I want to find a solution to a problem that they have, right? So when you're talking to people, if you have a lot of time, you can go ahead and do a formal process and kind of talk to them and build a lot of rapport with them and ask them a lot of questions. And you can kind of scout out and wait for some information to come out and kind of aggregate the information that they give you and then just kind of hold on to it and then spit it back, So talk to someone that says, for example, like, yeah, I travel a lot. Oh, how do you feel about that? Oh, I hate it. It's like I'm on the road all the time. I mean, it was fun at first. So I'm just storing that information. And then eventually I'm going to spit it back to them, when I find out, hey, well, do you keep your options open? If you saw a way where you could still make that kind of money that you're accustomed to and it didn't interfere with what you're already doing, you could be on the road less, travel only when you want to for fun, still have the flexibility of working from home, but still make that six-figure income and beyond. Would that be something that you'd be interested in? So if I was from recruiting them, I would take the information that I'm gathering, I would store it, and then I'd wait for the appropriate time to spit it back when I see my opening in the transition. Now, in another sense, if I don't have that much time, one of the things that I want to do, all right, is I'm going to cut right to the chase. Now, it's interesting because I was kind of in this one situation where when I was prospecting this guy, there was another guy that was also in our same business, and he was standing there, and I was talking to the guy, and I was just, I was making great rapport, and I basically timed out. I was like, all right, here's where I am now in the line. By the time we get to the part where I got to take off my shoes and put everything in, I need to be at a certain point in this conversation where we've already taken it to a business end so I can pull his number by that time. So I already know what I can cut out and what I need to have, the core essentials of what I need to have in my conversation. All right. Now, unfortunately, this guy was another guy that was around me, and he was, kind of asking questions, and saying things that, I was almost like, is this guy going to try and prospect this guy too? Are we like competing for this dude? This financial planner guy that I met. But, he was kind of saying things, and I was just going like, shh, don't say anything. You're steering the conversation, in a direction that it doesn't need to. So here's a very important lesson. All right. Know not just what needs to be said that's important, but it's important to know what not to say. And very often less is more. If you have less time, you don't need to know the name, how many kids they have and everything that they do for fun. If when you have less time to work with, keep the questions more occupation focused. Keep them focused more on their pain. Like, hey, what do you do for a living? Oh, really? Tell me about that. How long have you been doing it? I'm going to keep it in that work zone. So then that way I can find some reason to be impressed by something he's saying, and I can use that as a means to justify, that way we're on that same topic. Otherwise, I don't want to drift off onto where he talks about his kids. And he says, like one of the things he said, one of his kids was like, he's like, yeah, my kid's going to Europe and I'm really excited. He's a real big adventurer. That was a conversation that I could have, and what a lot of amateurs do. And so don't make this mistake. If someone says something and they're excited about it, but it's not going to be extremely relevant to the end outcome of you talking business and making that transition, don't blow off and go down that side tangent. Because what you don't want to do is you don't want to get time closed, right? You don't want to be talking about that guy's kid, who's in Europe and saying, oh, what part of Europe is he going? Oh, really? Tell me about that. That sounds so fascinating. Well, what inspired him to do that? Like, these are great things that you would do if you were like, having a drink with a person and you had all kinds of time. But it's going to be really hard to go from what inspired his, son that he's so proud of to go to Europe to saying, well, hey, listen, by the way, are you keeping your options open to other opportunities? And it's going to be hard for you to make that transition back. And what you think you're doing is you think that you're building massive rapport and you're like, oh man, this guy really can tell that I care. That's not that important. It's not. You don't have to have massive rapport. You can build rapport later. You could strengthen your rapport later on the follow-up phone call. What's more important is to build trust and credibility and authority and certain things like that. All right. So one of the big, takeaways that I just want you guys to really have is know what's needed to be said. Assess the amount of time that you have with your prospect. And if you don't have that much, get into it faster. And don't feel like you need to talk about, all kinds of stuff to have enough rapport to get that person's phone number. And a lot of times you can be very brief depending on the time, and you can just say, hey man, where are you from? Wow, you're dressed awfully sharp. What do you do? Tell me about that. What do you like? What don't you like? You can kind of jump right into it and say, really, well, listen, I can't promise you anything. I happen to be a recruiter for a company, or I happen to be headhunting for this firm that's in this area. We're actually looking for some people, and you can kind of dive right into it. Does that make sense? So there's actually a formula that I have and I follow. And for those of you that don't know my story, I've been in the network marketing, direct sales industry for over 14 years, ever since I was 21 years old. So it's actually maybe, even a little longer than that now. I'm getting old. But I cold market prospected and have pulled successfully over 20,000 numbers from the cold market. And that's just I stopped counting after that, So I want you to think about this. That's over 20,000 people I've talked to have said, yes, what you're saying to me, Cesar, sounds very interesting. I am very excited to learn more. Here's my phone number. Please call me back. 20,000 people. All right. Now, in order to have that success, so you got to imagine that's probably, even if I batted 50%, that's probably 40,000 plus people that I've talked to, right? But I want you to understand something. Now it's not like 50%. It's probably like 90% of the time if I approach someone and talk to them, I'm pulling their phone number. But the reason is I've developed a formula that I want to share with you. It's what I call my cold market prospecting formula. And I actually want to share with you a webinar that I'm going to be doing for free and a live training that you can actually attend right now. And here's what's pretty dope. You can attend this webinar for free, and I'm even going to show you not just this formula, and I'm not just going to break it down, but I'm also going to give you live footage of me prospecting in the streets, so you can actually see me approaching people. And I'm going to show you, like, this is the formula, and then I'm going to say, now watch me use it on this person, because a lot of times people will see what you do and they'll see what I do and they'll go, God, he's so smooth. He's such a good talker. But what you don't realize is there's just a 6-step formula that I'm following in every single exposure process. And I just go bang, 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 bang. And then there it is. And then I get to it and they're giving me their phone number excited. All right. So I want to share that with you. You guys can all check it out right now by going to realitynetworker.com. So just go to realitynetworker.com. singular.com. And if you go to realitynetworker.com right now, you'll see the webinar registration page. And what's cool is, as a bonus, I'm even going to give, leading up to that training, I'm going to give you guys a couple of additional bonus videos that'll be coming next week. And one of them is ridiculously awesome. So I see someone said, I already registered, got your email. Man, you are in for a friggin' treat. You're going to love this thing. But I'm going to give you guys some bonus videos. One of them, man, is so freaking good. I should honestly charge for just one of the bonus videos that you're going to get next week when you register. If you haven't already, do that. Go to realitynetworker.com and also share it with your team, because I don't know about you, but for those of you guys that actually have a team, thank you for posting that there, selling Raleigh. Appreciate it. Raleigh, North Carolina, not far from Wilmington, North Carolina, where I'm at. Referred 4 people earlier. Awesome, Paul. What you guys are going to find is if you want to have a team that isn't making excuses, a team that isn't saying, oh, I ran out of people to talk to, I'm done with my friends and family, now what? Imagine having a team that's like literally headhunting all day long, and they learn this simple formula. You guys can kind of keep each other accountable. You say, hey, listen, yesterday I did a Periscope on, prospecting and talking to 2 people a day and just keeping that momentum. Well, now imagine I'm going to teach you the skills to actually do that. So imagine how powerful it would be if you had everyone in your organization, all your teammates, people that are upline from you, people that are downline, if everyone was running on this one flow and campaign, you guys could have workout partners and you guys could be in the streets going together, saying, hey man, I'm going to go out there. Hey, how many people do you talk to? And you guys can basically be coaching each other. So you guys are going to be absolutely ridiculous. Right now, we've had, I think, I don't even know, what are we at, like 80 some people here. Imagine if all of you guys, for those of you that have sales organizations, you go ahead and get your entire organizations on there. I'm telling you right now, all of these excuses that people have of like having an empty appointment book and an empty calendar, or talking to people that are broke. I don't talk to people that are broke because I tend to target people that are sharp. When I'm out and about, I'm looking for the person that's driving the nicest car. I'm looking for the person that's dressed the nicest. I'm looking for the person that's walking tall and looks like they're an influencer. And I have the confidence of being able to approach those people because I have a formula that I've refined over, 40,000 plus exposures over a decade of in the streets, experience, coupled with, $100,000 invested in my own education and personal development seminars, courses, you name it. So a lot of you guys, if you're scared to talk to people, one of the major reasons why you are, and you feel fear and anxiety and apprehension, is just because you're not good. You don't know what to expect. But when you know what to expect, you have confidence. For example, if I was to tell you that, let's pretend that you were single, and let's just, you were single and I saw someone that was extremely attractive to you. You look at that person, you're like, oh man, you got butterflies in your stomach. Right? Have you ever felt that? Have you ever saw someone that they're like so good looking, they're intimidating? But what if I came up to you and said, listen, I just talked to that person and dude, they are totally into you. Like they are feeling you. Like they were asking me if you were single and all kinds of stuff. Like how confident would you then feel approaching that person? You feel very confident, right? All of a sudden you'd be like, really? They like me? Well, you wouldn't be so worried about what to say and how to say it because you would already have the confidence of knowing that they're already interested. Now imagine if your entire life you walked around in that perpetual swag and that confidence because you knew no matter what the situation was, you always carried that confidence of knowing that the end outcome was going to be they were already interested in you. And that's what I'm here to share with you. Hop on realitynetworker.com. Get your entire team on there. And what's going to happen is all of you guys are going to have the most amazing confidence when you speak to people so that you will never be intimidated by anyone again, because it's like you're entering the situation already having the outcome already done in your head. I know when I talk to someone, I look at someone and I go, done. That person's in, they don't even know it. Their number's in my cell phone. They're excited to hear from me. Why? Because I've played the game so many times that I've refined the formula to a science and an art that all I have to do is go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, nailed all 6 steps. Their number's in my pocket and they're excited to hear from me. They're picking up the phone when I call. If they're in the middle of dinner with their spouse, they're saying, honey, I got to take this call. This is that guy that I was telling you about. All right. So that's what the type of confidence that I want to give to you guys. And I'm going to be doing that for free on Thursday. So make sure that you're registered no matter what you got to do. Make sure you're there. Tell your entire team, because I want to turn your team into a bunch of beasts. And I want to make you guys a lot of money. So appreciate you so much. Someone saying, about to start a job in tech sales. What are your best top tips for cold prospecting? Hop on the webinar, man. You're going to find out everything. All right. And you guys are going to just be loaded with value. And it's going to be one of the best webinars you've ever attended. I can guarantee it. All right. So with that being said, guys, realitynetworker.com. Someone go ahead and type it across the screen for me so everyone else can see it. If you would just type in realitynetworker.com so everyone can see it in case they're thinking I'm mispronouncing it. So appreciate the love. I just smashed this. So I'm just back from the gym, so I'm a little sweaty and a little nasty, and it's hot out here. But, you know, that's how I like to kick it, man. That's what I like. Periscope. You want this cap in pink? I've got them coming. Don't worry. B10XB. They're definitely pink. RealityNetworker.com. Thank you so much. Paul, thank you so much. The other person that just dropped RealityNetworker.com. So go there now, register, and I'll see you guys over the top. Take care. God bless. And I look forward to seeing you guys on the webinar.